With the big moves of free agency over, there are still a few teams with major questions at the most important position. It goes without saying, but if you don't have a quarterback, you really don't have anything. It's almost a waste of a season if you don't have one that you're invested in. So here are a few teams stuck in no man's land at the quarterback position, with the draft just a couple weeks away. The first team on our list is the Denver Broncos. In 2022, Denver traded and extended Russell Wilson through 2028, but just 2 years in, the team wanted to go in a different direction. They released the 35-year-old veteran while taking on an insane dead cap hit of $85 million over the next 2 years. For reference, the next largest dead cap hit in league history was Matt Ryan at $40.5 million. Not even half of what Russell Wilson's was. To fill the void of releasing Wilson, the Broncos signed, well, nobody. Their quarterback depth chart is Jarrett Stidham and recent XFL quarterback Ben DiNucci. Stidham was once a 4th-round pick who has 4 starts in 4 seasons. And to make matters worse, Denver doesn't even have a top 10 pick. They're slated to pick number 12 overall. This means there are about 5 quarterback-needy teams picking ahead of them. The thing is though, maybe this is a clue that the Broncos will be the most desperate team to trade up. Because at least Minnesota, the Giants, Washington, New England, and even the Raiders made some moves to bring in a backup quarterback or a bridge quarterback. The Broncos have done literally nothing. Are we supposed to believe they're going to go into next season with Jarrett Stidham for 17 games? It feels like they have something up their sleeve, or maybe they're just really content with Bo Nix or Michael Penix. Time will tell. The next team on our list is the Las Vegas Raiders. Unfortunately for the Raiders, they actually pick right behind Denver at number 13 overall. But unlike Denver, the Raiders quarterback room is not completely terrible. They brought in Gardner Minshew on a 2-year deal, and last year's 4th-round pick Aiden O'Connell, the guy from Super Troopers, is still there as well. Minshew is still 27, so realistically, they could ride with him for a couple more years. But is that really what's best for the organization? We know what he is, a lesser version of Baker Mayfield with a worse arm, although he does have some good moments. O'Connell, meanwhile, is immobile, not an impressive athlete, and has a ceiling no higher than Derek Carr. But he'll always have Week 15 versus the Chargers last year. You can't take that away from him. Similar to the Broncos, if they don't trade up, their only real options are Bo Nix or Michael Penix, depending on who's still remaining. And if the Raiders don't love either guy, then get ready to watch Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, I guess. Or maybe they'll be secretly tanking. You have a GM in his first year, a roster mostly devoid of talent, minus a couple of guys, and they play in a division that's going to have Mahomes for the next 5 or 10 years, maybe even more. So maybe the best move is to tank. The Minnesota Vikings reached a point in the offseason where they wanted Kirk Cousins back, but only on their terms. Obviously, Cousins went on to join Atlanta on a 4-year deal with $100 million guaranteed, which Minnesota rightfully was not comfortable matching or exceeding. They signed Sam Darnold for a 1-year deal as insurance, reuniting him with Josh McCown, who's now the Vikings quarterback coach. Darnold is certainly more intriguing than Minshew given his raw upside and draft pedigree, but it'd be foolish to bank on the fact that he might be the team's franchise quarterback going forward. Is it possible he ends up being this year's Baker Mayfield while throwing to Jefferson, Addison, and Hawkinson? I mean, maybe, but once again, it's tough to bank on that. As we know, the Vikings traded up with the Texans to collect another 1st-round pick in this draft at number 23 overall, which was presumably to have ammo to trade up into the top 5 and guarantee a chance at JJ McCarthy, who they apparently love. But if they can't trade up with LA, Arizona, or New England, they may have to settle for Sam Darnold for a year, which I guess is not the worst thing in the world, but I wonder if they would take Michael Penix at number 11. They do pick right in front of Denver and Las Vegas, so they may have a shot at the 5th quarterback off the board, if they want to go that route. The New York Giants are the last team on our list who find themselves in a less than ideal spot at the quarterback position. A year after giving Daniel Jones a 4-year, $160 million deal, the Giants now have buyer's remorse, according to Rich Eisen. Between Jones' ACL injury, 2 neck injuries, and flat out just not playing well last year, the team seems ready to find their next guy. They signed Drew Lock for a year as insurance, but he's not their long-term answer. The Giants have been good at keeping their cards close to their chest during this new regime, but it doesn't mean that rumors have not been circulating. There have been reports about them loving JJ McCarthy, and another report that if Drake May got past the Commanders at number 2, then the Giants would make an aggressive offer with the Patriots for the 3rd overall pick, which would only be trading from pick 6 to pick 3, and it would definitely cost a lot. But if Drake May is their guy, then it's probably worth making that move. Either way, it does not seem like the 2024 season is a season where the Giants expect to compete. They realize they have made a mistake last offseason by extending Jones, and for this year, they just have to take their medicine. But taking that medicine with Drake May as compared to watching Jones and Locke for 17 games would give the fan base way more hope. That Tommy Cutlett's Linsanity run could have ultimately costed them a shot at Drake May. I was going to include teams like Washington and Chicago and New England, but the consensus belief is that they'll be taking their guys in the top 3 of this draft. So for them, they probably won't be in quarterback hell next season. Anyway, that's gonna do it. Leave in the comments which team do you think is in the worst situation for not having a quarterback in the future. For me, it's probably Denver because they do pick pretty low. They have literally nobody else on that roster right now, and they're still facing a lot of ramifications of the Russell Wilson contract over the next 2 years. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll talk to you guys next time.